And we're back, YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I appreciate that. Let's review Pro Evolution Soccer 2019. And as always, and as every year, PES makes an awful first impression. On startup, you are greeted with this screen. 3 options, all involving the My Club portion of the game. If you don't know what that is, My Club is where you build your ultimate soccer team and you try to unlock players, or you can buy players. And Konami being Konami, this is where the microtransactions come into play. Yes, you can unlock these players by just playing the game and getting these points that you can spend, but the emphasis again here is on the My Club. And that's where the money is for Konami, so that's what they're going to push. And they're pushing this into your face as you're starting this game. And you get yet another ugly and confusing user interface. There are various options hidden in different menus. It's all very cumbersome to navigate. It's really ugly. Also this year, Konami lost a bunch of licenses, especially the Champions League and the Europe League. But it did add some minor leagues and cups and some licensed stadiums for whoever cares about that. Because players of PES, they care about the licenses. They want the original teams. They want the original stadiums. So Konami couldn't care less. They don't want to spend the money on the licenses. They don't care. They think that there are people out there, and they are out there, that will create this option file and you can add the players into the game later on. And sure, but this is just lazy. It's awful. Konami has enough money to get the licenses, but they just don't care. They just don't care. Personally, I only play the offline Master League, and it's back. But there's nothing else there than was before. You choose your team. You try to rise through the ranks. You play your matches, buy and sell players, and that sort of thing. I do like that. I do like it. I enjoy that option, but for a lot of people, you need more than that. You want to play the Champions League. You want to play the Europe League. You want to have the original teams. You want to have the original players. Konami couldn't care less, really, especially about the offline Master League. There's nothing new added to the formula, and it seems, again, they're only interested in the money and the My Club thing, because that's, where the money is. So yeah, that's pretty much where PES is at. It's basically all about the My Club. I have to admit, the faces of some of the more famous football players, or the soccer players, look way better than last year's game. And yes, the commentary is awful. Is awful as it has always been awful. It really, they just copy-paste the commentary from the last game to the new games. They don't really care. But with that out of the way, let's talk about the gameplay. Well, I'll have to give credit where credit is due, because, well, it seems Konami still has some wizards in their ranks, because the gameplay on the pitch is phenomenal. More than previous installments, this feels like actual football. And it has a lot to do with the animations being top-notch, and players move very lifelike, and you can definitely distinguish between players like, for instance, Messi, who has that sort of famous dribble, and it's all there, and it plays very, very well. There's a great sense of ebb and flow to the game, where you usually start out at a lower pace, where you try and pass the ball around, and then you can get the extra speed when you are countering, and the AI of your teammates is actually way better than last year's, and you'll see them act more proactive, where as you do this counter, more players will join and will run to the other side. The AI of the opposing teams is a bit of a hit and miss, and the main tactic seems to be to play to the flanks and then try to get the ball into the box, and it becomes a bit predictable, I guess. But still, the ability to place this precise through ball that has just enough speed to be picked up by your forwards, leaving the defenders on the back foot, and you scoring that fantastic goal. It just feels phenomenal. Even with all the added realism, it is still possible to do that solo run from your own half to the other side and score again this amazing goal. So PES 2019 has this very nice balance between realism on one side, but also still that touch of arcade gameplay where PES has always been very good at. So it is just so enjoyable to play PES. For instance, defending is not just a game of just pushing the right button at the right time to intercept the ball. There's a lot more to it now. There's more chance to it. There's a lot more physicality involved where players will bump into each other. It's just, it's phenomenal. And the unscripted nature of the game is also very apparent if you look at what the ball does. I mean, the ball seems to be its own identity, and it's not just glued to your feet, but it feels like it's its own thing. And scoring goals never feels scripted or automated, like in FIFA, for instance. So the gameplay is just so butter smooth. There's no slowdown when things get busy on the pitch. It's so smooth. If I have to be critical, I think that they need to revamp the scoring out of corner kicks and the free kicks, because they're very hard to pull off, and most of the time I just don't know what I'm doing. But it could be me, but I think it needs to be redone. So in conclusion, PES 2019 is a fantastic game of football that is buried beneath a pile of horseshit. That's what it is. And I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with Konami not giving a shit about this game. Right? And I think that they should get their act together and really start to give the people, the players who are loyal to this franchise, the stuff that they want. You know, don't put stuff behind paywalls, and branch out. You know, add new stuff. I mean, FIFA has been doing that with their story mode. PES should work on that. They should be more inventive and build on that amazing football game that they have. It's this holy grail, and they just throw it away. I just can't understand this. So that's what I think of PES 2019. I will be playing it a lot this year and the coming year, but it is, it's bringing me to the point where I just don't want to play it anymore, even though it is so good, but because I cannot stand the bullshit that Konami is pulling with this thing. That's what I think. Leave comments, let me know what you think, and see you next time.